Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pop Go the Writers. It is December 4th, 3rd,
Yes, I'm
4th.
I'm looking at my calendar. Yes,
So, December 4th, we are 21 days, exactly 3 weeks from Christmas. And, nice calendar.
thank you. Yeah, isn't it? It's a good. It's Princess Leia to end up the year.
Yeah,
It's supposed to look like the old Kenner action figures.
yeah, that looks good. Uh, I finally got a head count for Christmas Day. I'll be cooking for 19 people, which
Woo,
is the largest
doggies.
number of people I've cooked for so far. So,
Woo.
yeah, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, is that the operative word? Fun.
I'm using it for now.
Hmm. Yeah, good. Good. It's a good attitude to have.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
so
make sure you get to eat. That's the important thing. You people who cook for these gigantic groups and then you don't really get to eat yourself.
I cook a little differently than most people. I've only been doing it for a couple years. I only started cooking a few years ago,
Hmm.
but I took over doing the holiday meals about 3 years ago, and I do them in a very anal retentive way. I've got everything planned out to the exact moment I have to start each dish. Um, and I don't do the giant like Golden Corral style smorgasbord or
Hmm.
buffet. I do planned meals, and yeah, you serve yourself,
Hmm.
but it's a ham. It's well, Thanksgiving is turkey, Christmas it's ham. It's
Yeah.
potatoes. It's yeah, sweet potatoes. It's a couple different veggies and rolls, and that's it.
Hmm.
It's not. The way my mother used to do it is she'd make like 13 different vegetables, some of which you would only get during the hot, like parsnips and rutabaga.
Yeah.
It's like
Parsnips.
yeah,
The
who the hell?
hell?
Yeah. So
Parsnips. What is this? The 1800s?
yeah, so she would make. Well, she was born in England,
Okay.
so
Oh, okay. Well, all
yeah.
right. Parsnips.
So she would make these big buffets, and I make
Mhm.
dinners. But with this many people, I've had to kind of go, okay, you want to bring a side dish. And the thing that always drives me crazy about those kind of things is people oh, can I bring something? And then they bring something that doesn't make sense to the meal.
No, right.
You know,
Well,
it's
if
like,
they're
look,
asking, you should tell them what to bring then.
it's like I brought enchiladas. What? Or something like that. Empanadas. My nephew's girlfriend family makes empanadas, so she usually shows up with a big thing of empanadas every year, and it's like, which is nice. I appreciate the gift, but it doesn't match the meal.
Right. A
So
bucket of
it's
fried chicken.
yeah. So my niece said, "So what's the theme?" And I said, "Oh, I told her exactly what we're having, and her response was, "Oh, I'll bring mac and cheese." And my first reaction was like, "How does mac and cheese fit in with this meal?" And then I stopped. I went, "There's going to be like 7 children.
Uh-huh. See,
Children
these things.
love
Hmm.
mac and cheese."
Yeah. Plus, it goes with ham.
Yeah. So stop being a control freak, Dan.
Yeah.
Just say that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
You know, it would
And I
be
did.
good, like a baked ham and or baked mac and cheese casserole.
I've convinced Lisa to bring a broccoli casserole, so that's
Okay.
one thing off
Okay.
my. So, and I'm going to do glazed carrots, which I started doing last year. But I'm also gonna. I go up to Lisa's for her Christmas on Christmas Eve, so I'll be making glazed carrots twice. They went over so well last year. I'm taking them on the road.
Dan, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Crocheting and cooking and everything, you're going to make somebody a very good wife one of these days.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
You
just
didn't make
waiting.
anybody a good husband, you know, but you'll make somebody a good wife. One of these.
I must
Uh-oh.
not have. I
Uh-oh. We're
must.
getting too sensitive now.
I must not have been too bad a husband because I still talk to my ex-wife.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
going to be here for Christmas, and I just spent the afternoon over at her place because our washer needs a new pump motor. So I took a load of clothes over there so I could wash it, and hung out with her while crocheting.
You need to have at least one like geek type of dish, you know, like Wookiee cookies, you know, or you need to get like a Star Wars cookbook and make sure that you have at least one nerdy geeky thing on the
I,
table.
I, I will see if I could do that. Um,
Wookiee cookies.
yeah. So, yeah. So how was your convention today?
Oh, you know, wow, what a pleasant surprise. I I booked this show like a month and a half ago, and I found out more about it as we were going along. It was basically like a giant like Christmas arts and crafts show. And here's me with my with my all my nerdy geeky pulp science fiction books and Green Hornet and Zorro novels and whatever else literally in the middle. I had two apparel vendors on either side of me. There were guys who had made Christmas trees out of old doors. It was everything and anything that wasn't even remotely like me, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. But you know what, I really wanted to do one more show for the year, and I had all the stock. I didn't have to buy any stock, and the table price was fairly reasonable. And darned if I didn't, do okay. I went almost $100 past my table fee. I made my table fee back plus almost $100. Sold 34 books. So
Nice.
yeah, everybody kept saying, "Oh, you're going to get all the husbands who got dragged to that show." And honestly, when all was said and done, I had more female customers than male, so I was happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So this is interesting bit of news to probably about 6 people watching. During
Are
the
we two of
summer,
them?
Valiant announced that they're doing a 12-inch figure of Bloodshot through a company called 03, who do the 6 scale figures. And surprisingly an affordable one, because I mean, you do a hot toy and they're going to cost you like $200 minimum.
Oh, minimum $250, I think, is pretty average now. Yeah. Oh,
If
yeah.
if they're an oversized or a metal one, you're looking at $300 and $400.
Yeah.
Well, I went ahead and ordered the Bloodshot one because I'm a big Valiant fan.
Yeah.
And it was only $70.
Wow.
$69.99.
Wow.
But I've been waiting for it to ship because it said it was going to be fourth quarter of 2022.
Yeah.
Well, I literally just got a notification at 6 o'clock, about 7 minutes ago, that my Bloodshot has shipped.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who is waiting for, if they did the same thing, they ordered a Bloodshot figure, he's on the way.
I'm not one to really kind of drop that kind of money on things, I just got that. This was, if I remember correctly, this was like 80. but yeah. So wait a minute, is this comic book Bloodshot or movie Bloodshot? Okay.
It's comic book Bloodshot. It's he's got hair. That's probably the biggest way you can tell the difference. He's got hair and he doesn't have the Vin Diesel round head and big nose.
That's wonderful. Now, has this company done other Valiant figures?
No, this is the first.
Oh.
So that they've done some Marvel, some. So yeah, but it's nice that they've got kind of there's a less expensive alternative. So actually, let me see if I can find a picture of him.
Yeah, the less expensive alternative is that you crochet one.
Crocheting is not my life now, but then again, maybe it is. So.
I don't know. You bring it up to me every time we see each other.
It's all I do anymore. So you're right. It pretty much has become my life.
Well, it's okay. When everything else falls through, then that's your thing.
Yeah, there you go. You got to have your thing in life, right?
Right. I haven't figured out mine yet. Yeah. Mine is having tables at arts and crafts shows.
Let's see if I can do this real quick. Present. Share screen.
I'm trying to think of other Valiant characters. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's a 12-inch figure?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice.
So
Okay. So it does not have a cloth outfit.
He does have a shirt.
Oh, okay. But
like
Hot Toys, you get a full cloth outfit, so that's going to add a lot more, to the price. But yeah, that's oh, cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Wow, that's great that it's supposedly going to come in before Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, I'll probably do an unboxing on the air.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, all right, let's get back to. So I followed your advice or your lead.
I saw that
when you were talking about Willow, saying, "I think I'm going to rewatch the first or the original." Yeah. And I thought, I'm pretty sure I saw the original in the theaters when it came out, when I was like 18 years old. I just, by the way, found out that I'm older than Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis?
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Yeah. Is that right?
He was
70. Well, you look pretty good for your age then, because I think Warwick Davis looks kind of old.
He does, but he's only 51.
Oh my God, he's 6 years younger than me. Yeah, that makes sense, because in Return of the Jedi, he was a kid, almost like a little kid, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes some sense.
But he was 17 in Willow.
Wow, that's amazing, because in the movie he's married and has 2 children. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I did see it in the theater, and quite honestly, that's the only time that I'm aware of that I saw it all the way through. I'm sure I saw bits and pieces on TV over the years, and I actually retained some memory of it, but not really ever sat and watched it all the way through again. And boy, was I glad that I did that the way I did that. That made all the difference in the world. I think I would have enjoyed the show regardless, but everything meant so much more, because I literally the night before I rewatched the film, and I'd recommend that to anybody at all.
I agree. I follow. You did recommend it online, and I went, yeah, I will do that. And I did. I sat down and I watched it, and so much of loved it.
Yeah,
same here. Absolutely loved the movie. Forgot how good it was. Forgot that Ron Howard was the director of it. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, because a lot of people were talking about rewatching it before the series, but someone equated it to Princess Bride.
What? Well, I'm sure people were doing that, and probably favorably, but I did it disfavorably. I am not a Princess Bride fan. I could not be mistaken for a Princess Bride fan. I of course had to stick it. I had to poke the eyes of everybody who's a Princess Bride fan. I did that sort of on purpose on my Facebook. I said it was 10,000 times better than the Princess Bride.
Okay, that's right. See, that's the thing, is you are honestly the first person I've ever met who doesn't like Princess Bride.
Dan, I'm actually the only person who doesn't like Princess Bride. Literally.
Yeah.
There was a poll that was done worldwide a couple of years ago, and it turns out that I am the only person in the whole world who doesn't like Princess Bride.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because, I mean, in my family, we're very diverse, what we like and stuff.
Yeah.
And down the line, everybody likes Princess Bride.
You know what it was is I've known about the existence of the book and the film all these years and had never read the book or seen the movie. I don't know. I don't remember what the deal was when the movie came out or why I didn't go see it. I'm not really sure because I was seeing all those other, 80s things and liking it, although I didn't see Willow again. I remember that I liked it pretty much, but like I love Dragon Slayer. There was what was that Michelle Pfeiffer one?
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk. It was okay and everything. But finally I said, "Oh, I'll watch Princess Bride." I don't remember. I think it was like on TCM or something like that. And and I think that was a little bit part of the problem is because I had these expectations that everybody went on and on and on about how wonderful and great it was. I tried to open my mind as far as it could go to watch it, but I walked away and I literally cannot see what people are talking about. I don't like any of the characters. I don't think it's funny at all. At all. And it's looks kind of cheap, very cheaply made too. That's what I loved about Willow is it still looks so good today, and like the special effects are still good. It's from 1988, if I'm not mistaken. Um, uh, but yeah, Princess Bride, nope, can't
Wow.
can't figure it out.
Wow.
I know, I
I
know,
didn't,
I
I
know.
didn't even know about the movie until I had bought a condo in Anaheim, and Lisa came to visit and said, "I'm going to bring some movies." I went, "Great," and she brought Princess Bride, and I didn't know about this. Was 1998, so well after it had come out,
Yeah.
and she put it on, and I just absolutely loved the movie. And just so I'm stunned. But so for me, it was a favorable comparison. But I still think Princess Bride's the better movie. But it's in to me, it's in the conversation.
I just told my son that I'm going to talk about it. My son nearly disowned me because of Princess Bride. We almost came to blows about that when we were talking about movies. And I told him how, and he was just like, "What? Come on, man." He was born in 88. I don't know. What Princess Bride is like 80, it's right around there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the exact date. I could look it up, but
It's late 80s.
yeah,
Um,
I just think there's a lot of similarities in tone and theme. The fact they're directed by ex sitcom stars.
right?
Yeah,
Wait, who is Princess Bride directed by?
Rob Reiner.
Oh, that's right. That's why I hate that movie. That's why. That explains everything.
You don't like Rob Reiner movies?
I don't like Rob Reiner for that.
Does that mean you don't like When Harry Met Sally either?
I have never seen When Harry Met Sally. It doesn't have any like lasers or spaceships or dragons or anything in it, so
That's true. It doesn't. So,
my son wants to know in what context we were talking about it. I'm going to say, when we almost came to blows over the Princess Bride.
yeah, you can tell in comparison to Willow.
Well, the funny thing is we were just talking about that. I mentioned Willow, and I said, "Oh, I watched the show, and I can recommend it." And he came back and said, "Oh, that's great." He said, he's something like he had heard really good things about it, and he said how much he liked Willow. So it's funny. It's like the people who like Willow usually like the Princess Bride, but
Yeah, and I can see also a lot of similarities to the. This is going to be a long way around to do this comparison. But
okay,
you know how the Lone Ranger and Green Hornet are very similar.
Yeah, because they're related, right? Right.
They're related and created by the same people.
Yes.
So they use the same format of the hero and the sidekick and that type of, Kato and Tonto are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I look at Willow and I see a lot of Star Wars in it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, the sequel trilogy, it's like almost a replay of Force Awakens. The one Easter egg video that I watched by Screen Crush, he had a huge, big comparison between the two, and I was like, my jaw was dropping open, like, oh yeah, it is like that.
Yeah. Now, I loved the movie. I liked the series, but I've got issues with the series.
Oh, okay. Well, it all falls apart. I thought you really liked the series.
Um, I liked it better in the second episode than the first.
Okay, that's fair. Sure.
It it felt very predictable. It's
Okay.
like
Yeah. Yeah. I
it
don't
seemed pretty
necessarily
obvious.
argue with that.
It seemed pretty obvious who the princess was interested in.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought they would play that out a little longer,
Mm-hmm.
but nope, we got to that, which struck me as kind of odd for a Disney series. I guess I look at Willow and I think of a family or a kids thing.
Yeah. 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 I guess that would be whoever you talk to. That's Yeah. I thought it was kind of minor overall, or at least they're playing it, fairly minor overall. It'd be interesting to see, what goes forward. I actually guessed wrong of who Allura Dannon was
Oh, okay. I
up
thought that
until
was
closer to the end, and then I figured it. Then I figured it out. But yeah, I mean, it's got all the tropes and cliches and whatnot, but but still enjoyable. For the most part, I liked everybody in it. It looks really good, and I love the scenery in it for one
yeah.
thing.
I really appreciated the prince character that she was supposed to marry in the second episode. In the
Oh
first
yeah, sure.
one,
Well, yeah, yeah.
in the second episode, they started giving him a purpose,
hmm
and Borman starts making more sense as well.
Absolutely.
So that was my. This is going to sound.
I mean, we got a bunch of characters thrown at us pretty quick in the first episode, and then you said it just correctly, is that we get their purposes, a little bit more in the second episode.
Yeah,
I thought the sequence where the weirdo bad guy people attack at the castle was, like super creepy
yeah.
and well handled. A little dark, but
Mhm.
but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, like I said, most of the beats were predictable, like her being able to,
Yes.
her actually getting the thing to grow at the end, and
Yes,
that
I was totally expecting that to happen. Yeah.
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 So I mean, those are the kind of things that it felt like or who the princess kisses.
Yeah.
That was predictable. I didn't think they would get to it that quickly.
Which is interesting, because I'm assuming that they're assuming that it's going to be like people our age who saw it back then, and then watching it with their kids or their grandchildren, actually.
Yeah,
So the predictability part is going to be like that. What is this going to be? 8 episodes, I think.
I thought it was 6, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I
I
only
got to
got
tell you here's what surprised me. I did not expect Mad Mardigan to have that much of a presence in this. In fact,
Yeah.
I barely expected anything, and that they were literally just gonna maybe mention him and just forget about the whole thing. And here he's actually this pretty big plot point.
They were going to have Val Kilmer show up. It was planned and it was in the works, even though he's got his medical issues and stuff.
Yeah.
And they have to kind of dub in his voice nowadays. But the plan was to have him show up.
Yeah.
And what stopped it was COVID.
Sure.
So COVID put it on hold. But I get the feeling from some of the interviews I've seen that that they're just going to kind of stretch it out a bit, and that if it gets a second season, then there's a chance we'll get him then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he somebody told me the whole Top Gun thing, that he had, a good scene or two or whatever in the recent Top Gun movie. So he's able to do things if they do it in a certain way. So yeah, I mean, I hope that happens. But again, to have that much about him, there's a mystery involved with him. They're almost constantly talking about him. I give credit to the kid playing his son, because he really feels like he's the son of Mad Mardigan, and the princess to some extent too. But the boy really, I think he probably sat down and really watched all the Val Kilmer scenes, in that. So that was really fun, because it felt like that he was really the son of him. I'm so glad to see the actress who played Saoirse. If I'm not mistaken, there's 3 original actors in these 2 episodes. Warwick Davis, obviously, the lady who plays Saoirse, and Willow's friend is also from the first one too.
Yes.
Spoiler alert a little bit. It's kind of sad to not have Willow's wife, and we haven't gotten an explanation about that.
Yeah.
Do you know who was the standout actor in this thing to me? It was Warwick Davis's daughter.
Oh, Annabelle Davis? Yes.
She was really good. Yeah, I really hope she's in it some more. But boy, oh boy, she's got some chops. I'm going to go on record as saying she might even be better than her dad as far as being an actor.
I saw that kind of an interesting article is that Warwick and his daughter are in it. His real life wife is an actress and plays just one of the villagers and was one of the villagers in the original movie. I think that's how they met.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's a small role. But his son, who doesn't want to be isn't an actor, is his stunt double. He does all his stunts.
Keeping it in the family.
Yep. But what I thought was really interesting is what his son's name is.
Okay.
Harrison Davies or Davis.
I love that. That's great.
Yep. So yeah, all the whole family's involved with this.
And you know what? And then that reminds me, that's the other thing, is not a single mention of Willow's son.
Not in the first 2 episodes, but from what I've been reading, there is a mystery involving him as well.
Okay. All right.
So
say no more, Squire.
Yeah. Also, but I thought it was interesting is Jonathan Kasdan, the gentleman who's doing this.
Yeah.
I believe he co-wrote the Top Gun script.
Okay.
So he was involved with the Val Kilmer thing.
Related to Lawrence Kasdan?
Yes, Lawrence's son.
It's his son. Okay. As soon as I saw the name, I said, "Oh, well, if that's not Lawrence Kasdan's son, then there's something wrong with the world."
Yeah. And the 2 of them are the ones that wrote Solo, a Star Wars story.
That's right.
Was directed by Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Phew.
And it was
Guys,
on
it's a conspiracy.
the set of Solo that Jonathan started talking about Willow to Ron Howard, and they bounced ideas back and forth. And
Oh.
then Jonathan reached out to um, Warwick to see if he'd even be interested,
Mm-hmm.
because Warwick shows up in Solo, I believe.
He's in pretty much every Star Wars movie since
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
So yeah, he started talking to him then and giving it, and he'd call him up occasionally and go, "What if we did this? What if we did that?"
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think the best thing they did was decide to ignore the novels that were written.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, there's no need to. It's just like the expanded universe of the Star Wars novels. I mean, that's good, and that filled in, that gave people more Willow back when those came out. Written by Chris Claremont, of all people.
Yeah,
Um,
which was probably a horrible choice. I love Claremont. I grew up on his X-Men, loved his X-Men
yeah,
writing.
I don't know if he's
But
a novelist though.
well, just not that. Not only that, but his style of writing doesn't fit the Willow universe, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how he ever, how he got into that. They're credited to him and George Lucas. I assume George plotted them or gave him
Yeah,
the story or or whatever. I meant to look it up. I'm assuming that the woman who played the sorceress, the good sorceress in the movie, is not with us anymore because she was older then.
yeah, I believe not.
Okay, and that makes sense and they mention her, that she's no longer around. They also mention that the fairy creature thing that comes to Willow at one point in the movie, that character is gone, or I can't remember. Source just says they're gone or something. Do you happen to know if the woman who played her mother is still alive? I meant to look it up, but
I don't know.
I saw
But
some
she was also,
I
yeah,
saw some speculation that she could be the old crone that Willow mentions, that she's come back because she didn't necessarily die. It looked more like she got sucked into something else, some other dimension or whatever.
let's take a look real quick. Let's see, she was Bev Morda,
Yeah,
Jean Marsh,
Jean Marsh. Yeah.
and I don't like how they've changed IMDb.
Hmm.
It's not as, oh my gosh, she was married to John Pertwee.
Wow. Hmm.
What was John Pertwee? John Pertwee was considered as one of the backup choices for Sean Connery in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
I just saw that it was either today or yesterday. I heard that, and there was another actor. There was two other actors, and
Gregory Peck.
who?
Gregory Peck is the other one.
Oh God, that's an odd choice, but yeah,
Yep.
I heard that the other day, or it might even been this morning. That's so funny.
I think you read my page.
Oh, maybe that is where that
It was
could be.
my Friday Ford. The best
Yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. If I must admit it, yes.
Jean Marsh is still alive. She's 88 years old.
Oh,
Yeah,
I assume she's not. Then she's probably not in this.
but yeah, she's 88 years old. So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that she was married to. Wait, it doesn't list her children, because I was wondering if that meant Sean Pertwee's her daughter, or is her son. But
Her son. Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't list him as her sibling, so he must have remarried.
It's a small Doctor Who world.
It is. It is. And speaking of small worlds, and Jonathan Kasdan and doing Solo and Ron Howard, uh, the character that plays Jax in Willow was in Solo as the head of the
Yeah,
Empress Nest.
yeah, right. And she's in Falcon and the Winter
Winter
Soldier. Yeah,
Soldier as,
yeah,
Aaron
yeah.
Pelican.
I like her, although I'm gonna say she doesn't. Other than that one thing, she doesn't have much of a purpose yet in this. She's a little superfluous, in my opinion, at this point in things.
Yeah,
And she hasn't. They haven't really had her do a whole lot in the way of that she's supposed to be training to be a knight. You know what I mean? Like her prowess. I mean, I'm hoping that obviously we're going to get some more out of her to really tell us why she's in this thing.
yeah, yeah. I'm not quite sure on the dynamics in this
Mm-hmm.
because we've got Kit who seems to like Jax,
Mm-hmm.
Jax who doesn't seem to doesn't. I don't know if she returns the affection.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that either. Yeah, can agree with that. Mm-hmm.
And then you have Alora, who's in love with Arik,
Mm-hmm.
Eric Arik, and Arik, who seems to be in love with Alora.
Mm-hmm.
But the Prince guy seems to have a thing for Alora all of a sudden.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting development. I had to be reminded that he's Flash Thompson in the Spider-Man movie.
Oh gosh, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting little development. But I really like Borman. He's really, I mean, he's obviously like the Mad Mardigan character for the most part, and we find out that he was his squire, which was
what's funny is in the interview I read, Kasdan talked about how he really wanted to have a Mad Mardigan type character, but it's not Borman.
Okay.
There's still a character coming in, and it's who they reached out for. It's Christian Slater.
Oh, I had heard that he was in this. Yeah, okay.
So
in some ways, I've been trying not to look too much into what's coming. That I enjoyed it enough that I want to be, pleasantly surprised. Like that's why I didn't really go whole hog into looking into the Val Kilmer thing. But I do know now that they're saying no, he is not in this season.
Yes.
No. And I'm kind of glad I know that now because I think I would have been a little disappointed if he wasn't right at the end.
Yeah. And we know that they were trying to.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just easily said he's dead. I mean, they very easily, but no. I'm go back to what I said. They made him his presence is over this whole thing. That like they can't stop talking about him. For the most part.
But the
moment that Saoirse and Mad Mardigan's son's name was said, I got a big smile on my face. And that probably, if I hadn't rewatched the movie, that would have meant nothing to me at all. And it's like, of course he named them after that guy. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep, like the only friend he has.
Yeah. I don't. It makes me wonder where the name Kit came from. Like that didn't seem to have any. Wasn't really from anything that we've seen, at all.
The only thing that I'm missing are the brownies.
That's on the way from what I think. I saw a little flash of a scene from a trailer or a commercial or something, and they're in there. There's no way, and you know what? It's part of them. That's kind of part of the movie that I don't care overly much for. But there's no way that they're not going to have the brownies in this thing. No way, no way whatsoever that they could get around that.
But will they bring back the originals?
Good question.
I mean, because they're kind of big people. Rick Overton and Kevin Pollak have
Mm-hmm.
gone on to have big careers, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so would they come back, and would that accent be considered offensive now?
Yeah, good point.
Because it was almost a Maurice Chevalier style French accent. And,
Good point. It's a fantasy world. What does it matter? The one thing that I wasn't sold on in the 2 episodes that we watched is all the young people are talking like it's 2022, 2023. You know, the mix of American and British accents is a little hard. And then, like I said, the kids are just like, yeah, man, what, and then everybody else is speaking more, fantasy British medieval proper,
yeah.
and you get the kind of just laid back, lazy talk from the kids. But again, I liked everything else, so I just rolled with that.
Yeah. Would it be better if they all did mid-Atlantic accents?
Yeah. I want the mid-Atlantic accent to come back, actually. Yes.
Oh,
I'd like to see an entire movie, made with everybody doing a mid-Atlantic accent. That's funny, Dan. That's really funny.
you have to believe in the magic.
I want everybody to have Boston accents, actually.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we'll get Chris Evans and Ben Affleck and
Yeah, it's so funny to watch an old movie that's made in made in the United States, and you get that accent that really people just don't really have anymore. And
yeah.
my wife was the first person that I think ever I heard that phrase from. She's like, "Oh, that mid-Atlantic accent that everybody had back then," and I'm like, "Mid-Atlantic? There's nothing in the." There's not. Oh, I get it. Yeah, all right, I get it. Yeah, I said, but yeah, you're right. It's just one of those things that's kind of gone away.
Well, that's how they got its name. Is that the studios wanted an accent somewhere between American and English,
Right.
so mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, I remember when she first said that. I'm like, it's from Greenland or Iceland. Okay.
Oh man, imagine trying to do that voice on a regular basis. You know?
Yeah, right. It would take some, training and practice for people to do it today.
Oh yeah. I mean, even now, I can do that accent occasionally, but I need to hear it to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yep. Yeah, I would be the same way. That's good.
But no, overall, I enjoyed it. I found I liked it better by the end of the second episode.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Sure.
the first episode, it felt very much the same as just about all fantasy series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Shannara Chronicles they did, or basically just a group of young people. They didn't have that classic feel.
Mm-hmm.
It also felt a bit, and this is where I can almost get in trouble for saying it, a little forced diversity or forced inclusion.
I usually pretty much agree with that. I'm not so sure there's not a black character as of yet.
No, but you have Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
You have two.
Yep.
And one of the guards was a black guy.
Yeah, I meant like a main character, or supporting character. So I assume that's.
And don't get me wrong, Willow, the movie was way too white.
Yeah, I think that there was one or two of Willow's people that were Like, and there were in the episodes too, if I remember correctly. But yeah, now I'm kind of like saying like, gee, there's no black people in this
Well,
production yet.
I,
But I
I
assume
think
that's probably.
I don't have a problem with the casting. I don't have a problem
Mhm,
with the Kit Jax character.
mhm.
Um, Wait, isn't Aaron Kellerman part black?
I think maybe so. I've never really
Yeah.
looked into it. I
Okay.
maybe, yeah.
But it just felt like they were doing a bit of a checklist, like with the kiss.
Yeah,
Like, look, we have LGBT inclusion.
I I pretty much agree with you. Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I don't have any fans to piss off, so yes, I pretty much agree with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that relationship was great. And
Hmm.
I think they could have developed that over the course of the season.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think they just kind of rushed it to get the inclusion check mark.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that is where I got a problem with. I don't have a problem with the characters or the story or any
I
of that.
I agree with you. In my own writing and in books and other things, that I read comic books, if it happens organically, thumbs up. But so many times it doesn't. It's constructed in a way that is totally inorganic and usually is just like, hey, look, we have this,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would say let's see where this goes. I'm I'm not totally sold on their relationship in terms of I think there's a chance it may not continue to develop and that those two go their separate ways,
Mhm.
but again, I think that's going to come with the development of Kit's character because she does feel like of all of the main characters that, and I realize it's only 2 episodes, that she's the one that doesn't feel like she's getting the development
Yeah.
yet, and I'm sure that's to come.
Mhm. No, I agree. Yeah. Did you think they played Willow a little too humorous, or
I I thought that that's where they were going with it. Definitely in the scenes in his village, if you want, the underground village. I did feel that way, but I also thought Warwick Davis was playing it well. He can be
yeah,
very funny and humorous, but once he gets into the role of of her teacher, I didn't really think that anymore. They're kind of walking a thin line because there was a goodly amount of humor in the movie,
yeah,
but nowadays it's more expected that there'll be some really funny lines or whatever. So I think they have to be careful that this doesn't come off like well, let's say The Princess Bride. It needs to distinguish itself from The Princess Bride. You know what? That's going to be next, by the way. Somebody's going to do The Princess Bride
oh God, I hope not.
continues. They're going to baloney. Darn well somebody's going. I mean, are all those people still around and alive? So I'm sure that somebody's
Um,
out there saying, "We look, this is happening and it's good. Let's do Princess Bride the series."
didn't Buttercup pass? I know that Andre the Giant passed.
Okay.
So,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
but what?
But the main people, the young people, right? You know
Um,
what? I think I saw not too long ago that a few of them did some kind of photo shoot or they were reunited somewhere and took a photo together. I
yeah,
seem to remember seeing that. It was the girl and you know what? I can barely remember who the heck is even in that movie or what they looked like or who
probably
the characters were. Huh?
Robin Wright is Princess Buttercup.
Okay. She's
Carrie
still
Ells is Wesley, the main. Then Mandy Patinkin, who of course is still around.
yeah, yeah.
Wallace Shawn, Chris Sarandon.
Hmm.
What's his name from Spinal Tap? The
Oh,
comedian.
Michael.
No,
Oh, Harry
uh,
Shearer.
no, the third guy.
You mean the one that I can't think of off the top of my head?
Chris, I think Chris.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Crap. Damn. Yeah, he's still
Christopher
around.
Guest. Christopher Guest.
Yeah, Christopher Guest.
He's still around. Peter Falk is gone. Peter Cook is gone. Carol
Bill,
Kane, I believe, is gone. Billy Crystal's still around.
no, Carol Kane is still around. She was
Thought
just
she,
in something and got like good reviews or whatever. Billy Crystal's still around.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's enough of them to. Why am I even saying this? I don't want a Princess Bride the series because then I'll never hear the end of it from people. It's bad enough that we have one movie.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. It is Christopher Guest.
Okay.
So,
we need Dragon Slayer the series is what we need.
yes. See, there are certain movies that I never want to see redone, and Princess Bride is one of them. Oddly enough, another one is a Kasdan movie, which is Silverado. I wouldn't mind seeing them explore some of the characters, but I would never want to see them redo Silverado. But I'd love to see John Cleese's sheriff character explored and figure out why this proper British gentleman is in the middle of an old West town as sheriff. I think that would be a blast.
When you say redo, do you mean like a literal reboot, or like I'm talking about a like Princess Bride, the continuation, rather than just remake the first movie?
I'd be okay with them doing that with Silverado, explore some of the characters, but not with Princess Bride. I think a lot of people would agree with me. I think Princess Bride is what people wanted. They wanted it's the Star Wars thing. One of the things that a lot of people hated about Force Awakens is it took away the happy ending that Luke and Leia and Han had earned.
Yes.
So no, I would not want them to go back and play in that universe at all. It is probably as close to a perfect movie in my opinion.
There's actually articles online that are like ScreenRant.com has an article that says called Princess Bride, Why the Sequel Never Happened. There was a rumored sequel called Buttercup's Baby. Supposedly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in 2020 it says the new Princess Bride remake stars Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas will star in a remake of Princess Bride. Though that was in 2020.
Yep.
Very interesting. Yeah. Supposedly William Goldman had a first chapter of the sequel called Buttercup's Baby.
Jay says, Once Upon a Deadpool was the perfect Princess Bride sequel. Yes, that's all we needed.
Okay, good. I'm glad this subject is over with because I can't believe I went this far down that damn rabbit hole for that damn movie. Jeez. I mean, I'm waiting for Dragon Knight, the series.
I'd love to see what was the Dragonheart.
Dragonheart, yeah. Dragon Knight, Dragonheart, Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Lady Hawk.
And
Hawk the Slayer. Well, you know what? There was just a very good Garth Ennis comic book sequel to Hawk the Slayer, which I highly recommend. If you like Hawk the Slayer, the movie, the comic series was really, really good. But they really should have made another Hawk the Slayer movie.
Okay, the sequel I've been waiting for since around '88.
Beastmaster.
I would absolutely watch more Beastmaster. Kodo and Podo, man, that forever. No, Buckaroo Banzai
Yes,
against
yes,
World,
yes,
yeah, World Crime
yes,
League.
yes,
We were
yes.
promised.
Well, the novel finally came out. Somebody wrote a novel of that. I
Yeah.
haven't read it, but oh yes, I'm a huge Buckaroo Banzai fan. But I asked my son if he had ever seen Buckaroo Banzai. Nope, and I said, "Good, you're disowned now. You disowned me over Princess Bride. I disowned you over Buckaroo Banzai. You have to watch Buckaroo Banzai."
Oh yeah, I love Buckaroo Banzai. I saw it in the theater.
Mhm.
I have it on Blu-ray. I loaned it to my nephew's boyfriend. He just brought it back tonight.
Yeah,
So yeah, Buckaroo Banzai, man.
yeah, yeah. The best Doc Savage movie ever made.
Oh yeah, no matter where you go, there
Hmm.
you are.
Hmm.
From my favorite movie quote.
Now, don't be mean.
Yep, it's right up there with my favorite line from Spaceballs, which is "Nice dissolve."
Hey, we better talk about those trailers before this thing
I,
is over.
I don't think we're gonna because we're
Okay.
already at 56
Well,
minutes.
good. We've got something then to talk about next time.
Yep, yep. We'll have more Willow, and we'll
Who
catch
never
up on the
thought we
trailer.
would get this much out of Willow this series?
I know, I know. I because it was kind of a throwaway to me, but we've got a lot of really good stuff coming up this month. We've
Yeah.
got Witcher: Blood Origin. I don't know if you're a Witcher fan,
Mm-mm.
but that's with Michelle Yeoh.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a new Jack Ryan series is going to drop
Okay.
with John Krasinski.
Okay.
Um, there's something else, and then I want to try to catch up on Wednesday on Netflix because people are talking great about that series.
What's on Wednesday?
No, the show Wednesday, not Wednesday Adams.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, who's on first?
I was looking at December like, oh man, I don't have any Marvel shows, I don't have any Star Wars shows. Oh, I'll watch this Willow show, and it's like, oh, this is something to look forward to on Wednesdays now, other than Wednesday.
And we're going to need to do a season ending show where we talk about our favorite series of the year. So each one has our top 10 list.
Sounds
See how
good to
many
me.
are, yeah, see how many we match up on.
Okay.
So, so we'll do that one though closer to the end of the year, just in
Sounds
case Jack Ryan or Blood Origin decide to get on that list.
okay.
So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. If you besides showing here, we're also showing on the experience on is it Wednesdays now? We've got a weekday spot and our numbers are going up over there.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, we're getting some good viewers over there as well now. So it's a
wow.
replay of our show here, but
That's why my book sales went up.
well, there you go. That's right.
They haven't, but there's always hope. There's always hope. But that's
You
great.
sold
No,
34 books for the craft show.
right, right. I know we're going to turn this into a crocheting show. You're going to just do crocheting, and I'm out.
Now we'll teach you.
I might be able to do macrame. There's a blast from the past from the 70s.
I'll show you how to make hats on a loom. It's really easy.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week, and you can join me during the week on the Dan Wickline Show. Also, you've got another podcast you're on too, right?
Yes, Comic Chaos with the local Toledo radio celebrity Fred Lefevre. We usually have that ready by every Sunday, although we weren't able to record one today. Not only is it on where you get all podcasts from anywhere online, but they also then play it on WSPD on the radio in Toledo on WSPD 1370 or 92 FM on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So it's like you can get it two ways. And although it has comic in the title, we rarely talk about comics anymore. It's a good thing it's called Chaos, because it's like this show. It's just all over the map.
Well, you really want chaos, you should invite me on one night.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the next time Fred says, let's talk to somebody about crocheting, I know exactly who to go to.
Crocheting, cooking, and comics. That's pretty much my life.
Yeah, Crochet Chaos is we're going to rename it.
Yep. As long as it's got a C at the beginning of the word, I seem to know it.
Okay.
So, all right, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. And this is where I press the button to say end broadcast.